Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. As you can see, we're back in the studio. We're not completely finished yet. We're sort of still in a remodeling process, but we sort of got this corner over here sort of temporary set up. We still, Jeff's working hard on it, Steve's working hard on it, and I came running to supervise a little bit, but we're almost there. So thank y'all for your patience, and we did enjoy doing the show from the house for a little while, and it's sort of neat, but we're glad to be back here too. Let's look at our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. We're looking at a high of 70. That's right, a high of 70 today, a low of 58, and water temperature is 54. Now, I've seen some people post on some 40-degree water temperature, and I don't know about that, but these are all NOAA readings that I give you, so they're scientifically based. So we got right now 54 degrees in the right offshore there. River reading brought to us by Sandhill Seafood. Good fresh seafood up there. The Apalachicola Bluntstown is at a 3.3. It got a real steady drop. Now, it's not a real sharp drop, but what I call that steady drop, looking on the chart there. Now, the Choctawhatchee, on the other hand, is level out. Looks like it's going to go up with this rain, a little bit of rain we've had. Right now, it's at a 4.9, so it's going to be going up pretty soon, but next day or two. But right now, today, it's going to be pretty level. The tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. We're looking at low tide this morning at 6:23 and a high tide at 4:46, and it's coming in all day. And marine forecast, I got variable winds, and we're going to look at, I believe it more out of the south. It looks like south-southeast. Okay, let's take a break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Now listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I forgot my iPad this morning, and I got all kind of pictures. So I told a lot of y'all I was going to show you a picture here on Tuesday morning. Well, don't look like I'm going to show it. I didn't have time to run back and get it. So we're going to, I'll try to show the pictures tomorrow. We got plenty of stuff to do and all, so we're going to be winging it again. One of the things I did want to do was add some names. Now, you see all the names sent in just this past weekend. There's no way that I can read all the names, but it's very important to me and to you also that I read names as I put them in and make sure you've heard your name. I won't get them all today, but I'm going to get started. And you can see right now it's completely empty, and we're going to start the drawing this coming Friday. And I'm going to start with some of the names. And first person, I got to give a credit. First person to send a name in. This is like a week ago. Phyllis Brookins. Phyllis Brookins. So I'm going to put yours in there first, Phyllis. Okay. Here we go. And this year's card is going to be this tan colored. Okay, a tan colored card right here. Okay, we'll get them. Had yellow last year. Joe Alio from Chicago. Joe watches the show on YouTube from Chicago. All right, and his wife Sue from Chicago. This might take time, but it was just going to be important we do this. Allison Martin, Highland Park. Matthew Miller, Lynn Haven. Wilbur Miller, Lynn Haven. Mark Miller, Lynn Haven. That's his grandson. And Linda Miller, Lynn Haven. Steve Brookins, Lynn Haven. Robert Colmet from Ponce de Leon. Debbie Colmet from Ponce de Leon. Ron Hahn. Morgan Gilmore, Highland Park. Carol Harris, St. Andrews. I'm just going to do this for 5 minutes. Okay, Margie Gilmore, Highland Park. William Harris, St. Andrews. Ted Gagne from Lynn Haven. David Gilmore, Highland Park. We got a lot of viewers. Johnny Harris, Panama City. Michael Harris, Panama City. And Anda Gagne from Lynn Haven. Oops. Donald Burgess from Santa Rosa Beach. And Braden Harris, Panama City. Dennis Borges, Santa Rosa Beach. Marie Borges, Santa Rosa Beach. Dave Borges, Santa Rosa Beach. Ralph Turner, Youngstown. Lucretia Turner, Youngstown. Frank Nell, Parker. A lot of y'all send really nice emails. I was going to mention that. Very, very nice to read those and all. I appreciate it. Frank Nell, Parker. Irene Nell, Parker. Mike Merckx, Lynn Haven. Denise Merckx, Lynn Haven. Let's get a couple more. Terry Richards, Southport. My neighbors up there, Lynn Richards. Oh, y'all win some seafood and call me when y'all get it cooked. Mary Lou Scott, Dennis Scott. Let's do a couple more. Still going. Diane Livingston, Kenny Livingston. Some good loyal viewers all through here. Bob Bigger, Deer Point Lake. And Gene Bigger, Deer Point Lake. So that's going to leave this many more for tomorrow. I'll do these tomorrow, okay? I don't want us to do the whole show, but we got these started now, and we'll do these tomorrow. Okay, one of the things, I talk to people all the time. I try to listen more than I talk, but it's always interesting to just talk to fellow outdoorsmen. I was talking to a guy recently, and I keep forgetting this, and I don't know why I brought it up, but it's interesting that a lot of people don't know this. We're talking about different people on the bay doing all kind of different things, and almost all of them are productive, enjoyable things they're doing. But every now and then you get a scallywag that gets out there and messes around and does stuff they shouldn't be doing. And if we're talking about, you keep forgetting, you cannot mess with someone else's traps. Their crab traps or whatever they got out there is their property. You can't go through, oh, I think I see what in here. It's not, and people do that. Sometimes people do it out of just flat out ignorance and think, not knowing the rule and thinking it's okay to check them. But that's a rare situation, but it has happened before. Keep in mind, and we were talking about this, that, folks, is a felony. To mess with someone else's crab trap is a felony. It's amazing that, a lot of things that aren't felonies seem a lot more serious than messing with someone's crab trap. But over the years and all, it's been established that you just don't mess with people's, because people make a living off of them. It's like stealing from them, so it's a felony. So don't go over there looking for, some kind of bait. Especially, I brought it up because it's wintertime. A lot of times people go and look for, try to get some live bait out of somebody's trap and all. Can't do that. So just keep that in mind, okay? All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. One thing I was going to bring up, and I had it all charted out. We've talked about this and about accidents and everything. I probably on the far end of talking about them more than I should, but I just I'd like for people to enjoy things on the outdoors and all, and stay away from accidents because it's such some terrible tragedies happen. We've had one this past weekend. It's something that we almost said was going to happen. It's only a matter of time before it happened, and sure enough, it did. And it was we're always talking about the speed of these bass tournaments and the speed of the redfish tournaments. How a lot of these guys are friends of mine. How they just put the hammer down and take off, and it's only a matter of time before they're going to run into something. Well, this past weekend on Lake Okeechobee, a big bass tournament down there, and I've been down Lake Okeechobee before. As you know, it is a huge lake, and there were some guys. The tournament was on the north end of Lake Okeechobee, and they were they decided they were going to fish on the south end, and that's a long run for a boat. But you know how these boats are; they'll go fast. And what they did, they put the hammer down and headed south. Well, if you remember last week, the wind was so strong coming out of the north. I'm talking about for 4 or 5 days. It was just hammering down. I'm talking about 15 or 16 miles an hour on a steady basis. Well, you can imagine where Lake Okeechobee started on the north end, and as you get down the south end, those waves go from this, and they just start building up. And the further south, and you've seen it happen in bay systems and all lakes. What happened on the other end of the wind direction, you're going to really get hammered. I mean, we just know that as outdoorsmen. Well, what had happened, they were going really fast, and this term, I haven't seen this term used a whole lot, but they speared a wave. Now, you had an angler and a co-angler. And what happened when you spear a wave, basically the wave's like this, and your boat, instead of going over the wave, it goes into the wave. Okay, so what happened? They just went into the wave. It's like almost like hitting a wall, and they're going 50, 60 miles an hour, which is like 100, 120. And when they hit it, the co-angler went flying out. Now, I've got sketchy information. They're still investigating it, but it's amazing how much information comes out. I believe most of this is fairly true. Different guys up here posted it, and they were talking about it, so I just sort of got a scenario. And the guy that was driving, the angler was driving that boat, the boat cut off, of course, and he couldn't get it started back, so he couldn't go back and look for his co-angler. And then, so the waves just started washing the boat, and it shattered it into all the rocks and all on the lower end of the lake. They've called out the Coast Guard, the National Guard, brought all kind of search parties out, Air Force reconnaissance, all kind of people came out looking at, and as last I've heard, they have not found the body of the co-angler. Water temperature was in the 50s, so you can imagine what happened. Now, I don't know what, if those life jackets should go off automatically. I don't know what happened on that, but I think bottom line, again, we talk about the speed and all, and how dangerous it is. You're going really, really fast. But you would think a wide open lake, a wide open gulf and all is safe, and 99% of the time it is safe and all. But when you put that hammer down and when the elements, you got to know what's going on with elements. You got north winds coming, those waves getting bigger and bigger, and it's just not worth it. So the same thing happened. You can put a situation here on the Apalachicola River, the Choctawhatchee River, flying around those bends and everything, and those anglers a lot of times will be thrown out if they hit a log or something. So I tell you that story because one thing I told you that's going to happen sooner or later, and sure enough it did. It was actually sooner than I thought because the situation there, we had someone that, this guy that lost his life, he was an Afghanistan war vet. He'd been over there twice, and he'd been in all kinds of combat situations. I read his bio, had a wife and kid and everything, 6-year-old daughter, I believe, and it's just really sad to see that. So anyway, just be careful out there. All the time, be careful, be careful. I say that, and you can't put on seatbelts on a boat and all. Okay, so be aware of that. I just want to bring up that incident. I did have some pictures of it, but I don't have my iPad. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and look at this video. I did pull out this video. Wintertime, I've been talking about hunting, which is really, we're right in the middle of it right now. But don't forget about wintertime fishing. We're talking about the sheephead and the different things, but whiting is one of the top fishing you can do. I love going fishing for whiting, and my favorite place is, of course, down around Cape San Blas. You can go over here on a western end of viewing area, anywhere from Destin all the way back here to the west end of the beach. All those areas are good for whiting. They really are going to bite this time of the year. And what they'll do, they'll get in a hole. And one of my all-time favorite whiting stories is I was down at Cape San Blas with Gail and I were there on January 3rd. That's why I brought it up here in January. We were there on January 3rd many years ago. We were walking around a stump hole. Back then you could walk. Now you can't even walk around a stump hole. And this old guy was fishing there, and I got to talk to him. His name was Mr. Beach. He passed away a good while back, but he was in his 80s then. And he was catching whiting right and left. And I said, here it is January 3rd, and he had a 5-gallon bucket. He already had one full, and he was starting to put in the other. He said, he pulled one in while we were talking. He said, wow, that's number 63. And I remember that number, I said, because if you catch 4 more, you catch one for each county in the state of Florida. So anyway, this is a great time. Now back then, he was using, what he did is a little piece of peeled fresh shrimp. And that's been a go-to bait for generations and all. We talk about fish bites and all, that's good, but it's hard to beat peeled shrimp. And that's what he was using. So anyway, this is a good little video on catching whiting in the wintertime in January here in the Panhandle. So Jeff, let's roll this video.
Hey folks, welcome to this segment of Panhandle Outdoors. I'm out here at daybreak. I'm out here at Cape San Blas on the peninsula. Not good conditions for fishing. It's real windy. The surf's a little rough, and we may not catch anything, but I'm just tickled to be out here. I love fishing this area. I've been doing this right in this spot, this area, for about 35 years, 36 maybe. Surf fishing out here for whiting, pompano. It's wintertime, so hopefully I can catch some whiting. And I'm going to fish for shrimp. I'm setting the rods up. I'm going to have a good morning. I couldn't think of anywhere else I'd rather be right now. are the whiting. Great eating fish and good fighting fish too. Whiting. Okay, got another one. Need a shrimp. One of the things you notice about these whiting, if I can hold this one, see that bottom feeder, see how that right there? See how they sort of like a sucker fish, really, they feed off the bottom a lot. Also, you notice their eyes, they look up for the predator. So a whiting, a lot of people call it a white trout, but it's really a good eating fish and all. You can see the bottom rig we're fishing with, nothing fancy. Just some shrimp on a little triangle weight, about 1/0 hooks. For folks that happen to be walking on the beach and getting setting out a rod, and I look down here, look at this. This is like a little, for you freshwater folks, it's like a wiggler. I guess it's an albino red wiggler. Look at that sucker. I don't know what it is really. I know it's alive. It's right here on the beach, right next to the surf. Some of you viewers may be able to identify it for me if you have any knowledge of what that albino wiggler really is. Call me at Panhandle. You can see basically the setup when you surf fishing. Here I have 3 rods out, some good rod holders. You just drive them in there, put them at an angle. You know, a couple 5-gallon buckets, a couple of chairs to sit in. This is one of my favorite kind of fishing. And look at this whole area. Look down the beach right here. How many people do you see? This is a weekend, and hardly anyone's here. I guess it might be one of the reasons I enjoy coming to this area for so many years. And we've already caught a couple. We're going to catch a few more, I hope. I'm going to wrap it up out here, folks. I'm on St. Joseph Peninsula. Winter surf fishing is a lot of fun. I've always enjoyed doing it. Now, a couple of advantages of it. In the winter, you don't worry about the crowds getting your bait. The seaweed's not bad, like the June grass. You don't have any seaweed. The surf's really clean. And the sun, the UV index, you don't worry much about it. You stay covered up and all, but a lot of fun to winter surf fish. And whiting is usually a really good game in the wintertime. So Panhandle Outdoors, I'm Winston Chester. Appreciate you watching the show.
All right, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. Let's move on to our final segment here by looking at our fishing game time brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're looking at this morning 6:10 to 8:10. This afternoon 6:33 to 8:33. And I do like to catch those pompano, because I do the same. Pompano and whiting fishing are exactly the same. I want to mention that to me because I'm setting up in the same area and I'm fishing basically the same way. And I personally like to do it in the mornings. But now I've seen guys catch them in the afternoons. Especially the last couple hours of the afternoon. But if you find that hole where they hold up in, they're a lot like speckled trout. They'll get up in a hole and stay there until you catch all of them. All right, and remember, there's no limit on whiting, but you just catch what you're going to eat. And I don't freeze fish like that, but they're good eating fish, excellent edibility. All right, let's move on. One of my viewers, we're talking about limits and all. I talked to one of my viewers the other day. I won't call out his name. Actually, we talked about it at church, and he was concerned. He wanted to get this off his shoulder. I'm going to pass it on to you. And he's a good outdoorsman and excellent. He always catches fish, and he's very good about just keeping the fish he's going to eat and all that. But we're talking about bass fishing, and he reminded me of this rule now. They really don't have a limit on bass fishing. He was talking about, it's his understanding, a lot of folks are keeping these small bass now, especially on the lower end of the Choctawhatchee and the Apalachicola rivers where people are fishing. And once you get in those bass, it's all out of whiting. And there's no limit. We were both surprised as we started talking about it a little bit there that the bass clubs and all hadn't really said something about it. Because if you start keeping 60 or 70 bass per boat and then go by the next day and tell your buddy, and all of a sudden, and I've seen this happen, and you know exactly what I'm talking about if you've been around these outdoorsmen. All of a sudden you've got 500-600 fish being caught out of one area within a couple of days. Boom, boom, and you can't convince me that does not hurt the population. And a lot of people there's a certain segment of people that will do those kind of things. They have no qualms about catching that very last one if they can. And so I just want to pass that on to you about catching these little bass and all that. Okay, let's talk about hunting really quick. I'm having a problem this year getting a pattern on the bucks, and I've up there the other day, and this is my really time of year. But matter of fact, a quick side note, Gail is starting to go with me. She thinks we're at a point in time in life where I don't need to go by myself in the woods and all. So she rides up there. She mainly sits in the truck and reads her book, but she's completely satisfied. And I told her I did not need a chaperone. I did not need a babysitter. But you know how wives are. So anyway, I enjoyed the company. We came back out, had lunch with her, had some vainas. She didn't really enjoy vainas that much. But anyway, my point is I was just really scouting around where I wanted to put my ground blind. We talked about it last week, and I found some nice fresh scrapes, but they're sort of scattered. Remember I was talking about last week about how the pattern, you have a scrape here, then you got a little pattern where you see well, I cannot find that pattern, and weird. And the scrapes are different sizes, so it's been a challenge. I'm going back up there again shortly if I can get away from the house, and I've got to get my ground blind up because of that Martin Luther King weekend. I'd like to get some. That's when I like to go shoot my buck. But anyway, I don't know if y'all have the same problem, but I normally don't have that problem where I have that pattern where they that line, and I don't like to walk around a whole lot and go zigzag back and forth, and I sort of like to bounce in and bounce out and sort of leave the place like it is. So anyway, the challenges of being an outdoorsman in the Florida Panhandle, and also the joy and thrill of it, is just unmatched and unparalleled. Got to wrap it up. I want to always thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. Got some guests coming up. The next 2 days, we've got some guests coming up, and especially the day after tomorrow, we've got some special video you're going to enjoy. So we're out of here now. Thank y'all for watching. Do something good today for your fellow man. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.